Soul family. Well, here's the deal. I did a reading last night, and it had a lot of information. It's 99% uploaded, and I was just going to give that one out for the day. And it was strange because I said I'm not quite sure why I'm doing it, but I was in the greatest mood. And there was one more piece of information that I came to me after I finished recording. And then I was laughing because I said I was in such a great mood because I hadn't had any dreams yet. That's why I was so happy. But I'm going to tell you, first of all, I'm going to let you choose from the items. We're picking 4 because I am doing this reading because I have to talk about something. We have the fox, right? The fox has the art of camouflage, flexibility, adaptability. You can see this is a snow fox. It disappears right into the snow, so you can't see it. Think of it being in frozen emotion as well, snow. Then you see the red-headed mermaid. She's younger. This is interesting. I think I just figured out who this is. And it's not me. I don't have red hair. And I'm not that young. Then there is the squirrel. The squirrel says, get ready for big change. This is a snow squirrel as well. So these are divine. These are divine animals. These are the, the white sacred animals. And my Uncle Phil showed me a white squirrel. It was pretty amazing. I've never seen one. And then we have the Persian cat with the blue eyes. This was my very first cat that I ever had, first animal that I ever had. And I was made to get rid of it because I accidentally, well, I didn't accidentally. Her name was Maria. I named her after the Aristocats. And I was 3. We lived in an apartment building. And my mom said, don't tell anyone that you have her because we might not be allowed to keep her. So there was a lady in the apartment that was really good friends with me, and she was always so sweet to me, and I didn't tell anyone but her. And I said, I've got a little cat, her name is Maria. Well, she told the manager, and I had to get rid of my cat. And I know this reminds me of my twin soul and me. He told someone he trusted about me, and he had to get rid of me. So this is going to be mine. This one's going to be mine, and the squirrel's going to be mine. You know what? I have a hard time with this one, so we're going to kind of put that one to the side. That one's on its own. This one's for my twin, and you'll understand why. So, okay. Remember yesterday how, actually, first of all, I've got to tell you, the message that I had to give you guys, and let me pick up the fish that Lily's not eating. She will hardly eat anything anymore. She eats just a little bit. I mix up everything special for her, and she rarely touches anything. No liger, but he'll eat anything. Now, this is the deal. I think this is the red-headed mermaid, the younger one. Okay, I know it sounds weird, but I think that's who my roommate is. The one who wants everything that I give to Lily. Okay? Okay, so the information that you'll understand when you hear today's reading, but there is somebody that is connected to me, very important to me, that has been getting spiritual information. This person is gifted. They are gifted. But they're getting information from them and they're lying to them. They're telling them something different. They're trusting them because they're a friend. They think they're a friend. And they are very gifted. They are connected. But they have a hidden agenda. And they're telling you what they want you to know, not what the truth is. So you're supposed to pay attention. When you hear today's reading, when it comes out, you'll understand where to find the truthful information. And that's all I have to say about that. So while we get ready for the cards here, I'm going to tell, remember how yesterday Spirit said, I think it was yesterday, I might have said it. No, I think I posted it, so maybe not all of you have seen it. How everything that you're going through is preparing you for what you asked for, right? And I know that's the truth. When I lived in Sedona, I moved from Wisconsin to Sedona, and I don't know why I'm choosing the cards that I am, but I am. When I moved to Sedona, I told you Spirit kept me separated, right? I had been in a place where I was with somebody who I liked, and it just wasn't ever getting off the ground. It was a soulmate kind of connection, a karmic soulmate, and I was getting off my path, my spiritual path. So Spirit said, you gotta go. And I was moved to Sedona, which I loved, but I was very lonely because that's where I did the sole amount of my work, right? I was isolated from people for 6 months. And after I was there 3 months, was it 6 months or 3? Actually, it might have been the full 6 months. I finally, I had no car. I couldn't drive anywhere, and I was up in Upper Sedona, and if I wanted to get groceries, I had to take 2 buses to get there, and I mean, it was just nuts. And I still lived in a neighborhood, and I would stop at, I had a little thrift store that I would stop into that I liked, but they were old people that ran it, and there was a crystal shop, but they were kind of very aloof in there. So I never got to know anyone, and I thought it was so strange. I've always been very social. And to take me from California to Wisconsin, that was a big change anyway. But I lived there a year, and everybody there was like my family, right? So here I am in Sedona now, and I'm totally isolated. And it was really hard for me. And I understand now what was going on. I mean, I was being conditioned to what I was going to be living with, how I was going to be living, because of what I asked for, right? So when I was there, I got to the place where I couldn't handle it anymore, and I said to Spirit, I can't do this. I can't freaking do this. I need somebody. Please I don't care, bring me a soulmate, Bring me a soulmate, because at the time, I still was crazy about this other person. I didn't want a boyfriend, I just wanted a soulmate. So literally 2 days later, my landlord said, I've rented the studio upstairs. And I said, really? And he goes, yeah, you'll be happy. It's a yoga teacher, and he's young, he's like 35, so he's younger than me, right? And I don't know if he was that much younger than me, but he was at least 10 to 12 years younger than me, and maybe 15. I think he might have been 15 years younger than me. Gosh, now that I think about it. And but he says he's really quiet, he's super cool, and he says he likes to do what you do. He likes to hike. He goes, I think you'll like him. And I said, cool. I was so excited because I was dying, right? So then I met my friend John. And you guys have heard me talk about my friend John. I freaking love him. I do. He was absolutely brought to me. He was a gift. And he became my hiking partner. But he had spent the last 2.5 years in Nepal, in the mountains, not speaking. He slept in caves with the monks. Didn't say a word. And then he met me, who was totally, at this time, I mean, I talked a mile a minute because I hadn't seen anybody. I hadn't had anybody to talk to. And now not only was this guy super nice, and I'll describe him to you. Very easygoing, very gentle, very kind, very quiet. He had blue eyes and red hair. He was a trust fund baby, and I don't mean like he lived off of that, but he came from a very wealthy family, and he worked. He was a spiritual teacher, right? And he was doing all this, all these courses. And when I first met him, he wasn't. At first, he was just living off of the family money, right? Or maybe it was his money. I'm not quite certain. He had property in another state, and at this time, he might have been living off of his savings. I think he was. He had a very, very difficult relationship with his father. They didn't get along. They never got along. His father always expected something different of him and didn't understand him. Got along well with his mom, and he had a sister who had a child. And he liked her. But they lived in Florida. And so the funny thing about this guy is, so we started hiking together, right? Now, because he had been in the caves for so long and not spoken for such a long time, and here I was, God. I mean, I hadn't been conditioned to the place where I am now. I mean, right now, he and I would get along great because I spend so much of my time by myself and quiet. I don't speak, But at that time, I mean, I'd spent 1 year in Sedona, and I mean, this is like 6 years ago, right? 1 year in Sedona, and then now 6 months in isolation. Like I had literally been in a freaking cage, right? Even though I was in a beautiful place. So we would go hiking, and he was really, really quiet and very, very sweet, but he would get overwhelmed. And I didn't know this for the longest time. I didn't understand. He would put me on a limp timer. And we didn't figure this out until we had a huge fight. But what would happen is we would go hiking, and he wouldn't speak at all, ever. And I was so excited. I was always taking pictures, and he didn't want his picture taken, right? He didn't want his picture taken. He didn't want anybody looking at him. I don't know. I'm like, what are you hiding from, you know? But he just didn't want anybody looking at him. So fine, you know, he would never be on the, and I was always taking videos for my soul family, right? Because I've always done this, right? This was my work. I was starting my work then, and I would record when I would hike, and I would tell people where I was. So he lived upstairs. We lived there for, I guess, the last 6 months. But we hiked at least 3 times a day. No, we didn't. Sorry. We would hike 3 times a week. Yeah. Once a day, 3 times a week. And that was pretty much probably all he could handle of being around somebody, right? Especially someone who was such a talker. But he really liked me at the same time. He did. I know he did. We were like really good friends. And we would have difficulties though, because I have a very good sense of direction, right? And I would say, we were looking for a cave, and I said, we'd been there once, and I knew where it was, but I could never describe it to anyone. I just knew. Spirit always guided me, you know? And I would say, well, it's over this way. And he would say, no, it's not. It's over this way. He was always right. He was always right, and he probably thought I was always right. But the thing is, I was. He would laugh. I swear to God, if he's watching this, I'm going to laugh. I'll just give you reference, John, to the shaman's cave, okay? So we're hiking. It's a hot day. I'm ready to die. You guys know I don't like the heat, right? It's so fucking hot. I'm ready to die. And we've been hiking for like fucking 2 hours. And I said, John, I know it's the other direction. It's to the left. And he goes, no, it isn't. So I said, God, we got to do it your way. We always have to do it your way, you know? Which is funny because it's kind of like, oh, I won't go there. I'm taking too long to tell the story. I've got to wrap this up quick. So anyway, in the end, I get mad. We see a rattlesnake, a little baby rattler jumps out, almost gets him, freaks him out, and I just finally get mad. I'm so hot, I can't stand it. And I said, you know what, I'm done. I said, I'm done with this. And he goes, why are you being, and he got mad at me. I said, I am so sick of you. You think you know fucking everything. I'm done with this. It's been 2.5 hours. I'm going the other direction. I can't remember why we got into a fight, but we did. And he looks at me and he goes, wow. You're mean. And I go, really? Really? We have been doing this forever. It's bloody hot. I'm soaking wet. You absolutely refuse to go in the direction that I would suggest us going. God, this is me and my twin. I swear to God. And he says, look, you know what? And I said, I'm leaving. He goes, you know what? I don't need this. That's what he goes. I don't need this. I'm out of here. And I said, fine, peace out. And he goes, I'm going to listen to you. He goes, I'll go 10 more minutes. And if it isn't there, I'm going back. And I said, fine. So we go 10 minutes and boom, there it is. We didn't talk about it. I dropped it. I didn't want to fight with him. I loved him. He was my friend, you know? And the way he didn't deal with it either. He never apologizes. Ever. And so he's Lacey. I get it. Okay. So he never apologizes, and he sees this like formation in the sand, and he goes, "Look at that! Isn't that cool?" And I thought, oh, forget it. I knew he didn't want to fight anymore, so I just dropped it, right? So we go to the cave. So anyway, that's the kind of thing. So years later, you know, when I would go back to Sedona and I would stay with him once I moved. Now, we had a huge fight. It was a misunderstanding. This is the deal. He had a friend, a very famous friend, an artist from Los Angeles that was coming to visit him. It was his best friend. And he was gay. John's not, but he was. And he was so excited about, he wanted me to meet his friend. He used to talk about him all the time. And so I said, okay, cool, you know. So then the guy comes, I come out for a visit. Actually, was it for a visit? No, I think I was still living there. And no, we've had 2 big fights. We had one big fight, we stopped talking because of the way, because I didn't know what the hell was going on with him, and he got mad at me for something that wasn't fair. He didn't understand, I didn't understand, I guess, you know, and he stopped speaking to me for 3 weeks. He wouldn't look at me. I'm just like, this is ridiculous. And then I ended up having to move to California, and I was sad because I missed him. But I thought, you know what, no, I've got to stand my ground. I can't do this. He's got to stop doing this, you know? And so I'm saying goodbye to my landlord. I go upstairs and I'm crying. You know, I loved my landlord. And when I went to leave, he opens the window and he says, "Where are you going?" See, I get upset thinking about it.
where are you going? And I said, I'm moving back to California. And he says, hold on a minute. And actually before that, no, he didn't open the window. He had allowed me to use, because I didn't have any furniture, right? And so he had a lot of beautiful things, and he just had a small place. And so he let me use this giant amethyst geode. And I had to give it back to him, and he hadn't spoken to me in 3 weeks. And so I went up to the door, and I knocked on the door. And he said hi. He was smiling because he thought that I was coming to say I was sorry, because I know he missed me. He used to drive by and look at the I would see him. He would look at my window and see if I would look at him, and I wouldn't. And it wasn't that I was just being an ass. It had to stop, you know. So when I told him I was moving, his eyes filled up with tears, and I said, I just wanted to give you back your amethyst geode. And he says, I want you to keep it. It's the amethyst geode that I keep my twins, and I don't do it right now because I'm trying to detach, you know. But it's this, it's beautiful. Look at it. I couldn't believe he gave it to me. It's very expensive. It's very beautiful. And he said, I want you to keep it. And so I left. It was awful because we hadn't spoken in 3 weeks, and I really missed him. And but I had to come back to California. There was nothing I could do, and I didn't want to. So anyway, sorry. There's a reason for all of this. It did all happen for a reason. I was not in love with him. I was in love with my twin. But he met me when I was trying to get over the other person who was a disaster, right? But while I lived there, my twin contacted me. So he knew about him. And I think he got a little bit jealous. And I don't know, maybe he didn't. I think he did. I never know when people like me, you know? I can't ever tell. And I'm not really 100% certain if it was that, or I don't know, maybe he was just, I know he cared about me and he felt like he was hurting me. I think that's what it was. And I want to say it's more like that. And something happened. I moved back to California, and I would go back and I would visit, remember? And something happened. He was a really awesome person, and he worked with this awful person, this boss that liked him. And he just liked her as a friend, but she got all pissy, and when he kind of told her, he said no to her advances, she fired him. She got him fired. It was her company. She was the doctor, and she got him fired. And he worked there as a massage therapist in the office, and he loved that job, and he was awesome at that job. The guy was amazing, and everyone loved him, and the clients loved him, the older people loved him. He's got that personality just like my twin. You know, old people love them, young people love them. And so when he got fired, it really hurt him. It really damaged him. And he stopped working. He went into a shell. He lost his confidence. And at first he was taking a lot of courses and classes, right? And every time I would go back to visit, he still wasn't working. He started playing video games. He started smoking pot like nonstop, and he had never smoked pot, like ever. And I kept saying, you know, he was so ahead of me. He was so gifted and so ahead of me. And I continued moving forward with my path, but I would go home to visit. You know, I would always stay with him. Nothing ever happened. We were only just friends. And he wasn't working. And I said to him, you know, you need to stop this. And he goes, what? I said, you need to stop. You need to start working. You need to start doing what, you know, your work again. I know that what happened damaged you, but you can't let that stop you from moving forward. And he listened a little bit, but he kind of argued a little bit too. So then his friend comes out, right? The next time I come out to stay. Now, I got to tell you, whenever I would go back to visit, we made this deal that I'd be talking in the car. I was all excited to see him. And when he would get to the place where he was overwhelmed, when he needed quiet, he would say, okay, 10 minutes. And it was like we had a 10-minute timer, and I didn't speak for 10 minutes. And it almost killed me. It almost killed me. If I would try, like I was videotaping one day, and I was talking. I wasn't talking to him. We were way out somewhere, and he got on the, he thought he got on the camera, but he didn't, and he started screaming at me. That was the fight we had.
That was the fight we had. He started screaming at me, and I said, I didn't. He goes, I told you, don't videotape me. And I said, I didn't. And he's screaming at me in the car. And I said, you know what, you're acting like a total ass. And he goes, you know what, you're a fucking bitch. And I was like, wow, are you kidding me? And that was our fight, okay? I couldn't believe he spoke to me like that. I was just like, oh my God. So anyway, now we're back to where we meet his friend. Now you guys got to listen to this, because I know that this is an absolute mirror for at least one person, if not others. So hold on, you guys know how I do my stories. So his friend comes out, and I don't know who he is. I don't really care about Hollywood, and he lives in Hollywood, and he's some famous artist. And don't you know who he is? No, I don't care. Not really care. John was very cultured. He'd been all around the world, right? His family's very wealthy, and this is how he met this guy in Los Angeles. And anyway, the guy's really nice, and I thought, I don't want to step on their toes, right? This is his best friend, and I know how John is, so I kept myself busy doing other things. And things were a little bit tense anyway, because John's a little, anal about everything. He's super, I love the fact that he's super neat and clean, because I am too. But he likes things just so, right? He likes order. So I thought, all right, I'm going to keep myself busy. Now, this guy, he liked me. We got along really well. And I think that was the problem. We got along a little too well. His friend liked me too much. And not like he was gay. It wasn't like he wanted me, but he liked me too much, right? And that was John's best friend, and I think it hurt his feelings. So when I went to leave, I stayed away a lot, and we got into a fight one day. And it was one of our regulars, same kind of deal. And I was just like, God. And his friend kind of stood up for me. Well, that was the end of that, right? So I decided I'm going to just kind of stay away. His friend said, do you want to come for a hike? And I was going to go. And I said, no, you know what? I'm going to let you guys go. Well, he got mad thinking I was blowing him off, which I was just trying to give him space. He needed it. We needed it. And I said, I think we need some space. So when I went to leave, we were all supposed to go to Taos. That was the one time I was supposed to check out Taos, New Mexico, because that's where his house was. And I decided I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go. He was already annoyed with me. I didn't want to ruin his trip. I was trying to be nice, I didn't want to ruin their trip. I wanted them to have time together. But I guess it hurt his feelings. So when I left, I always, would leave a gift for him, and he loved this Haagen-Dazs, not Haagen-Dazs, but it was Haagen-Dazs ice cream, mint, chocolate mint. So I left like a little paper trail of stick-it notes, look for me, find me, blah, blah, blah. And the ice cream was in the refrigerator. And a few days later, I got this really nasty text. It was vicious. It was absolutely nasty and vicious. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't understand. I didn't know where it came from. And I wrote back and I said, wow, you know what? That is not what happened. And I explained what it was. And I said, but you know what? We need some space. And he goes, you're right. And he stopped speaking to me for 3 years. I was just like, wow. The 2 days before or after it happened, he wrote me back and he said, I misunderstood what you wrote. I didn't have my glasses on, but I think we should have some space. So I didn't do what he accused me of doing, right? And he stopped speaking to me for 3 years. So I tried to contact him, but he would never answer. Takes me back to my twin. My twin is very quiet. He needs time to himself. He used to put me on a timer. He would answer 3 emails, because he lived in California, I lived in Sedona, and we would write. He would answer 3 emails, and then he wouldn't answer me for 2 days. That was my timer. That was our thing. And I used to say to John, I think that you're here to help me prepare me for him, And we've had a misunderstanding, and he stopped speaking to me for 3 years. And there is a person in his life that's actually a red-headed person that was an old roommate. I think it's a female. I think she's gay. I don't know. It might be a guy. I don't know. I won't say who it is. But I know that he used to live, they used to be neighbors or roommates or something, because in a dream I heard somebody was unpacking glasses, and somebody said, is this your glass? And they said, no. He said, no, it's from my crazy ex-roommate, right? And I must have taken it accidentally. So he probably said that because they got into a fight, just like John and I did. I would never call John crazy. And I'm sure my twin, that was just trying to show me that there was a difference, right? He probably wouldn't have said that either, because he's actually really kind. We just were like oil and water. Remember the soulmates that come together, and then the soulmates that are not meant to stay together? They're like oil and water. That's like me and John. I love him. He is a soulmate of mine. And yet we're like oil and water. We can only be around each other for a certain amount of time. We drive each other crazy, right? But what's interesting is he's very much like my twin. But when I'm with my twin, it's beautiful. The energy's beautiful. So the two kittens, the two choices. It's almost what I was wanted to say was my friend John, very gifted, psychic, is able to remote view, see things. He's very, very gifted. The information I believe that you're getting is from this person. That is your friend, but they are manipulating. They're not telling you the truth, and that is a straight up God's honest truth. So I'm outing you, person, whoever you are, that's been following me too. I don't know if you're the Libra. John's a Libra. And I think and in my dream they call this person Lisi. Lisi is a Libra, and the person is younger than me, and they boss me around, and they tell me what to do. They never say they're sorry. They give me the silent treatment. There's all the info. That's the person. And there it is. So basically what I'm saying is that needed to be said for my twin, but it also shows you that you will have mirrors, and we bring them into our lives. Spirit brings them into our lives to get us ready for what we asked for. What did I ask for? I asked for my twin. Well, if we had gotten together then, years ago, we would have killed each other. It would have never worked. But I have been slowly being conditioned by all the different roommates that I have, and all the different issues, and all the different, getting used to certain things. And now, that's what I'm saying, like now John and I would have gotten along great, right? As friends. I never felt that way about him, and I think, like I said, he was a little upset because I think he liked me, but he was way too young, and I was in love with my twin. But I think he was mad because I wasn't in love with my twin at first, he thought, because when I first met him, I was still dealing with this other person. But I didn't know that my twin was going to come back into my life. Once he did, that was the end of it. I'd been in love with him forever. So there it is, but you look at the two different personalities, and they're identical personalities. And I was. So my twin and John have the same kind of personality, and this red-headed younger mermaid has the same kind of personality. The only thing is, my friend John would never lie and never manipulate and try and cause me to believe something. He would never, ever, ever do that. But I have watched this person do that. So that was the information that came from the reading last night that I had to finish off. And the fact that we asked for mirrors in our lives. We go through stuff that we think is difficult, but it's in order to prepare us for what we've asked for. And now I'm ready. I wouldn't have been ready then, right? My twin wouldn't have been able to handle me. I wouldn't have been able to handle him. So even though it sucked, we weren't ready. And the sad part is the one that's manipulating and lying and causing the distance. That sucks. That's not cool. So, all right, at 29 minutes and 23 seconds, we go to the fox. This is the camouflage fox. Adaptability, flexibility. They're fun. They're funny. They're fun. They're cute. Have you ever seen a fox jumping in the snow? And this one's in meditation, clearly. So the first, let's see, there we go. Use the selenite tower. So the decks we're using today are the gods, goddess, what is it? Angel, gods, and I don't know what the hell it is. Oh God, I think I've given us way too many messages again. It is angels, gods, and goddesses. Okay? This is this first one. God of the arts. Oh, P.S. He started going back to work. My friend John, right? And what he was working on something really exciting. He's an artist. He's an artist. Wow. I wonder if this is you, John, that we're showing. He's an artist, and he's amazing. His art is incredible, incredible. And he moved to this yucky. He says you would hate it. He's in New Mexico, but he's in Albuquerque. He goes, you'd hate it here. It's he moved there for the nightlife because he wanted to have friends, and he liked that. But he says it's not like Sedona. It's gross, and you would hate it. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. And also I got last night, I already know there's a woman named Kat that is not a woman, it's a man. that's living in New Mexico. I got it. Okay. So anyway, so he says that's what he's been doing. He's been working on his art, and he's fantabulous. So, God of the arts, the artist within you is about to emerge. You little fox, you little camouflage fox. What is it? Is it creative art? Is it spiritual art? Whatever it is, the artist in you is about to emerge. Now, I chose the ones I wanted, right? What did I choose? I chose the squirrel and the cat. Okay. So the artist in you is about to emerge, God of the arts. So you see this one with the war paint on, but it's interesting. It's a rainbow across the nose. Rainbow, I see a lot of things. There's a rainbow down here too. I can't help it, I'm sorry. The first thing I saw was gay. Rainbow. That's what I saw. Because I have a friend, Juan, which is Spanish for John, and he's gay, and he's a spiritual teacher, and he's freaking amazing. And we were just talking about the rainbow community. So that's what I'm looking at. I also was being shown that somebody's coming out, and maybe this is doing it. So but the next thing I look at is the rainbow comes after the storm, right? And it's a good thing, a sign of good things after the storm coming out. So those two things. Now think about that. A sign of good things coming out after a storm. Well, then come out already. It's time. I also heard that somebody's about to out somebody and they're not going to be thrilled. So I guess maybe I've done that. So you're going to feel like you want to express yourself in some way. And whatever this is, however you're going to be doing this, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to lead to something amazing. Projects, ideas, ventures, opportunities, it's all going to come from you expressing yourself. So right now, Spirit's asking you to understand that coming out like this and doing this is going to help you balance the emotions that have been all over the place. It's going to help you balance you physically, emotionally, as well as spiritually. I can't help but think coming out is also doing that. You know? It's time to be your authentic, true self. You need to do this. You've been fighting this. You haven't wanted to do this. So Spirit's saying they want you to allow yourself to express yourself without feeling like you're censored, without feeling like you're being judged. You need to honor who you truthfully are. This is who you are. Allow the inner child to come out and play like the fox. There's so many ways we can express ourselves, musically, artistically, as far as, drawing, like my friend John. God, he's amazing. Painting, building, gardening, dance, acting, anything, right? Pottery. Oh my gosh, is it Sid? Wow. Wow, sorry, that was just a side thing that just hit me. So, oh, that makes me really sad if that's it, because I really cared about him. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that. That kind of threw me. 7 of Earth. This is a nice one. 7. You're on the right path, and it will exceed your expectations. And Earth is material. So if you've been worrying about your finances, if you've been worried about your home, if you've been worried about these are like the basic fundamentals, right? Home, family, health. You're rooted deeply. You've got a strong family tree, and it could be a soul family. I think about my strongest family is my soul family. Like my friend John from Sedona, my mom and Papa Terry from Wisconsin, my best friend Diane from Wisconsin. That's my soul family. See how the branches are all out there, and see all the globes filled with all of these different fairies? That's me coming home to that, and that's you coming home to that. God. You know what? I can't do this with you constantly in and out. So we just don't deal with it anymore. We just don't deal with it anymore. I'm not going to fight with it, right? It's like, go. If you can't make up your mind, you go. So here's me going home to Wisconsin, going home to Sedona, because this is like Flagstaff area, and there's my soul family, right? And it was really sad for me when John moved to New Mexico. He sold his place and moved to New Mexico, and now I at least I got to see him there. Now I don't. It's so sad. I want him to move back so I can visit him. But anyway, right now they're telling you, whatever it is, whatever this pause in action is, whether this is in your work, because to me I got it with work, you know, considering this is about the artist coming forward, but it could be your soul family too. And maybe, remember, there's been misunderstandings that need to be cleared up, and once they're understood, you can be friends again. Remember, there's no reason why you should interfere with me and my twin thinking I'm going to steal your friend. We can all be friends, right? So I feel like that. I feel like this is a coming back together of friends, of soul family. There's so much healing. There's so much love. Look at that. And growth. Look how big this tree is. There's so many branches. It's like you can't love only one person. And just because I love another person doesn't mean I don't love you, right? We just love each other in different ways. There's no reason for jealousy. Look at the green. There's jealousy all around this. And there shouldn't be. There's no need for that. So I feel like this is a coming back together. I like that, right? Spirit wants that, because what they're showing is the seeds are well planted. I'm getting emotional. These seeds of friendship, they matter. They're rooted deep. There's growth. There's fun times. There's beautiful memories. Look, it's like if you had a Christmas tree and you put the little globes with the memories in them, right? There's beautiful memories. You don't want to lose those memories. You want your friends. They matter. So this is a pause. It's a temporary pause. And it's unnecessary worry. Because 7 says you're on the right path and it will exceed your expectations. I wondered if I shouldn't have said what I said, but now I understand I should. It's meant to happen. And when people do things because they're jealous, or they say things, or they try and block things, you know, that's not good. That's not very mature. But, you know, we all learn from that. You know, we all have to learn lessons. And I've understood a lot of things recently. So I feel as though there is somebody that wants to say they're sorry. And they're afraid. And I got to tell you, if this is the person that came between my twin and I understand. I totally understand. And it did hurt. This person said, leave her alone. You only heard her besides she's in love with, and then named somebody else, and it wasn't the truth. And it hurt my twin. So, right now, the anxiety that you're holding over this situation, Spirit doesn't want you to hold that anxiety anymore. There's love and there's healing here. And there's family. I feel like, is this family? Like a family tree? I don't know. I mean, soul family feels like family, right? I've always called John my brother. My brother John. I've always said that. And there's somebody in my twin's family that he called his brother too. I met them together and I thought they were brothers, and they weren't. They were just friends. And I think they're both really nice people. But I am in love with my twin. So that needed to be said just now. Because this has also to do with the Capricorn. So, which is the earth sign. So that had to come out too. Could be 2 different people we're talking about here. So, whatever it is, you guys, any forward movement is temporary. I mean, stop, right? Any stop of your forward movement, it's not going to last. And right now, it's kind of where we're supposed to be reviewing things and seeing what happened. Well, wow, I've been getting that. I've been getting all kinds of epiphanies, right? This is when the lights come on. Remember, Spirit said, all the secrets coming out, they're going to be brought out into the open. And it's come out into the open because it needs to be. It's healthy, right? So, while we have this temporary movement forward, we're supposed to take a rest. Take a bit of a vacation. It's about recharging your batteries. It's about healing. This is monsoon season. I should probably go home to Sedona. And see, I'm sad because John's not there. Who would I go with, hiking with, you know? I'd be by myself. It sucks. But that's what we're meant to do. It's also about, don't give up. How much do you love something? How much do you want something? How bad do you want it? It's been difficult, yes, but they want you to persevere. Whether this is your art, whether this is a friendship, whether this is a misunderstood or a broken friendship and you want this to heal, right? How bad do you want that? Maybe you can consider a different approach to things. So she's walking up to this family tree and maybe she's going to handle this a little differently. Like, instead of attacking, how about saying, I want to be your friend. I understand how awesome the connection is between you guys, because I know how awesome the connection is between my friend John and I miss it really bad. So I think there should be a forgiveness. I think there should be an apology. I think that the misunderstandings need to be cleared up because it should come back together. That's what I think. So that's my approach coming forward. Everybody else gets their own choices here. But it's about reaching a milestone. You know, it's truthful. And look at the number 7 says we're on the right path. And so my expectation is this is going to exceed the expectations. I want a healing to take place. I see healing and love and deep-rooted friendship. And it's too precious to give up. Remember the precious, my precious? I kept getting the word precious. These look like the gold ring. It's too precious to give up. And remember 2 kittens? Yesterday we had to make a choice. Maybe we just make a choice about the one who we're in love with or the one that we're going to stick with. But why do we have to make a choice between friends? I don't think we should have to. So that's my alternative solution, right? Maybe one person makes it so difficult that we have to make a choice. But why do you want to do it that way? I say consider an alternative approach. That's what Spirit's asking. That's my contribution. This dog represents best friend, loyalty, protection, unconditional love. And that dog's really thirsty for some emotional support and expression. Now, if this is your dog or your cat, they need their water. So Lily probably needs her water. See, she went in her room where she's supposed to go. She went in her guest room. She's driving me nuts. Yeah, that song, we push and pull like a magnet do. Last night you were in my dreams. Yeah, that'd be my twin. Okay, so it's like my friend John, we push and pull like magnets, right? Some magnets flip and the other ones stick together. There's a difference. So that's why one should be a friend and one should be your lover, right? There's a difference. So your dog or cat wants you to give them water. Please, again, remember to clean out the water bowl because it picks up bacteria, right? Maybe, and we don't want to deal with bacteria. Right now I'm dealing with Merlin, with Liger, and with me. My lips are getting better, right? After I cleaned up Merlin's tank, he's getting better too. Liger's still having a hard time. But I think Liger represents the roommate, the old roommate. That's the one that's having the difficult time. But we're going to work on that. So I would say that this is blue. This is speech. So if you are the friend, you need to reach out and express yourself. I've reached out to my twin. I've reached out to my friend John, and they're both the same, you know. They go years without speaking. So I guess I could reach out to him again. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll say, you want to meet me in Sedona for a hike? We could do that. Maybe he'll come. So this dog's at the beach. He needs to speak. He needs emotional support, water. What friend do you have that you need to speak to, that you haven't spoken to? Speak. That's what you're being asked to do. Stop hiding, camouflaging yourself. Speak to your friend. You miss your friend. Tell them the truth. Speak the truth so that you can cause any misunderstandings to be dealt with. If you have to ask to be forgiven for something, ask. I'm sure it will be extended. If you're anybody that if you're the type of person like my friend John or my twin, you absolutely will be forgiven. I forgive easily. I know, well, John doesn't. But he would if I approached him. Yes, he would, right? So this is about speech. This is about the truth as well, the color blue. If you need help, ask Spirit to help you. But I see a best friend, a loyal friend. And to lose that connection because of ego and pride and fear is ridiculous. And misunderstanding, clear it up. Just let yourself be. Remember, allow yourself to come out and be who you truthfully are. Don't allow such a deep-rooted friendship to go by the wayside. Just allow yourself to be. Now, if you want to do this all separately, we can. You have the artist that's coming out within you. Whatever stall that you've come across, it's temporary. No need for worry, right? Time to maybe take a break, recharge your batteries. Here, feed your animal, change your fish water. I do it every day. Express yourself. Tell the truth. Say you're sorry. Offer forgiveness. and then just allow things to be. We are the way we're meant to be. Okay, at 44 minutes in, we go to the Red Headed Mermaid that I didn't want to talk to at first, but I'm cool with it now, you know, now that I understand. So 7 of air. Here we go, 7 again, you guys. This is really important. Okay, so there's plans that need revision right now. Yep, because this merry-go-round is all fucked up. It should be going smoothly, but it's not. These two are way over there, and these ones are this one's looking this way. Everything's in a mess. So there's more going on than meets the eye right now. And the timing is poor for something. You need to organize something. You need to get things in order. Something that's not in order. Air. Air is words. You need to speak, because look, the color blue again. You need to speak, because there's more going on than meets the eye right now than you're understanding. So right now, I don't know what you're doing or what you're looking at. This isn't one that I chose. So Spirit wants you to stop and look at the truth of this situation, because maybe whatever action you have taken, there's some things that you're not aware of. And it's based on incorrect assumptions. Like I said last night in the reading that I'm about to post. Oh, it's just done, so I'll be uploading it. You were being given false information. Somebody also was, well, you'll get today. You've been listening to somebody that you shouldn't have. They had an agenda. They had a hidden agenda. So you have been acting on false information. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too generous, right? Maybe it's a lot heavier than I realize. But this isn't my message, so this isn't my message. This is one that somebody else chose. So I hope not. I hope that it's not heavier than what I figured out. It's not for me to make this choice at this time. So for others who have chosen this card, the message is there is something that you're not aware of. And just as what what's going on here? Lord, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Okay, so I can't save something. I just heard. Something can't be saved. Oh, it's a lot heavier than I realized. Because I know somebody's been stealing something as well. Literally been stealing from someone. They've really hurt somebody badly. Okay, so in my situation, maybe it can be saved, and maybe in this particular situation it can't. Because there's something that cannot be saved, is what I'm being shown right now. So, I'm sorry about that. That sucks. So, right now, Spirit wants us to review the plans that we have in mind. Because you've based those plans on information that was incorrect, things that you didn't know about. Remember, you made somebody married someone on information that was false, that caused something to happen. It was, oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's pretty bad. Yeah, I have a little bit harder time dealing with that. So right now, there may be an expert that you need to deal with something. You might need a lawyer. You might need to look at something. Right now, Spirit wants caution to be dealt with the details. They don't want you to be careless at this time. So they're talking about looking at the timeline. Go back at the timeline and look at the times when things happened, what occurred. It might be too soon to move forward with something, or you might be missing the perfect opportunity and it's passing you. Because Spirit said we had an opportunity in front of us, remember? So, and also right now, somebody, and that is the truth. It is the truth. It's what I got last night. Somebody has a hidden agenda. And you weren't aware of that all along. They have. I have been shown that all along. I wanted it to be simple. I prefer it to be simple, but look, there's the hummingbird. The hummingbird says you will accomplish what might seem impossible to yourself and others. Right? So I want it to be simple. I'm asking for it to simple. Oh, look at the hummingbird. She's sticking around. Okay, so the hummingbird says lighten up your energy, right? Go for the sweetness in life. I don't know if this can be handled. I don't know. Maybe it can't be. But right now, somebody has a hidden agenda. There is theft. Somebody did steal something. I watched it last night. I did. I talked about it in this reading. Somebody set somebody up. There's embarrassing secrets. They caused an accident to happen, and it wasn't, and they blamed somebody else, and it wasn't even real. It was a setup, and the family did it. And I don't know if it was a soul family or what kind of family it was, but the family did it. And that person was avoiding responsibility, and they blamed someone else. And it was my twin they blamed. So that's not okay. So all of this is being thrown out right now, and I'm doing it right now, so I'm clearly exposing something. And I'm hopefully looking at two different situations. So right now, fertility. If I were to get this message, there's three different messages that jump out right away. One is this is a very fertile time. Your projects are going to go very well. Fertility, right? Could be that there's a baby being born. Somebody had a baby. I got that too. Somebody got pregnant and they said it was someone else's baby, but it wasn't. That needs to come out. So this is saying I need help with my pregnancy or caring for my young one. Yes, saw that. This is a new idea, a new project. You have reproductive system issues, which is what I watched. Remember with Prince that changed from a male into a female. That was reproductive changes. That was transgender. That was I watched as well. Another message, if I were to read this in a love reading, I would say that this is a person saying, I don't want to be with anyone else. Spay or neuter me. Now, your pets may be saying, spay or neuter me. Please do that. Please do that. We have enough unwanted animals in this world. It's not responsible to have an animal and let them have babies. Don't. Spay or neuter your kids. Do it. So these are all the messages that come forth from fertility. I've got so many messages running around in my head right now, it's upsetting me. I'm trying to just kind of let it go. So curiosity. Start a project you're related to something you're curious about. So if you've got talents and you're wondering, I don't have a job, I've left my job, what am I supposed to do? What are you curious about? What are you interested in? This cat is curious about this unicorn. We know the unicorn of the forest. He doesn't realize how beautiful he is. And the cat's curious about something. I just heard curiosity killed the cat. Wow. The cat in New Mexico. Okay, so there's a lot of sparkles, a lot of stars around that unicorn. Cat's a fan. So what is it that you're curious about? What is it that interests you? What is it that you have always wanted to look into and have not? Or what has always been something that you've kind of had rolling around your mind, but you never really went for it, What do you want to learn more about? I want to get better at, what is it called? Automatic writing. I think that'd be cool. So clearly what we're curious about the things that we're meant to do. We're curious about the places we're meant to go. We're curious about the people we're meant to connect with. That's why we're curious. So pay attention to where you're drawn, who you're drawn towards, what you're drawn towards. That's what's exciting you. It's exciting you because it's meant for you. So where do you go in your spare time? What do you do in your spare time? I told you my friend John was an artist, right? And I told you when he lost his job and he got all freaked out and it hurt him, he started to smoke pot and he started to play video games like crazy. I literally spent all day and all night, and I would say, okay, we need to go for a hike. This is ridiculous. Like, you're not even leaving the house. I wonder if he started to create video games. That would be really smart. He's an amazing artist, right? I can't remember. I don't know what he did. He showed me his drawings, though. He's amazing. So think about it. What is it that you do for your spare time, right? You like to smoke pot? Grow a pot farm. We got legality now, right? Be a cannabis distributor. I got it from my cats, and my landlord got it. It's awesome, right? It helps. What is it that you're drawn to? I know my twin always wanted to do a hemp skincare line. That's what he told me anyway. But Pay attention to what you're drawn to. I go to nature. I love nature. So what do? I embrace nature with my spiritual work. I work with my animal messengers. I'm a shaman. That's really cool to me. Crystals. I love working with crystals. I'm making a deck, right? That's what I like. So what do you like? It doesn't have to be something that you earn a living at. It can just be a hobby of yours. But there's a reason you're interested in it. So go there. History, fashion, photography. I love taking pictures. People have always said that to me. You should be a photographer. I love it. You know, make a coffee table book of all the amazing pictures and places. I mean, I would have to make a series of them because I've done so many. Take the time. Right now, we were just told to, where is it? I didn't give you guys a time frame, did I? I'll do it afterwards. But in the first message, we were told to take a break, right? So maybe while you're taking your break, you can be thinking about this, if this is something that you chose as well. Interview people that are experts, that are good at that, right? Anybody who works with that type of industry, connect with them, get their opinions. Ask your family and friends, what do you think? You know, what is it? When you think of me and what I like to do, what comes to your mind? When you think of me, what comes to mind? Everybody says to me, travel, adventure, right? Outside, animals. It's always the same thing. Music, right? So use your curiosity to move you towards where you're meant to be. Now, that has to do with people too. Where do you feel yourself? Where do you feel relaxed? Where do you feel like you're with soul family? You're with people like you. Be there. Right? Where do I feel at peace, comfortable, relaxed, happy? Where do I get excited? Where do I feel like I've got sparkles running through me when I'm with my twin? Right? A recovery is indicated. Yay! 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 That's a really good message. That's a really good message. Just going to leave it at that. Can't beat that with a stick. Okay. At 57 minutes in, we go to the squirrel. Get ready for some big changes. Get ready. Squirrels are cheeky. I like the squirrel. Okay, these are my messages. What do we get? Give me something good. Give me something good, Archangel Michael. This is Michael on the cover, in case you wondered. Yay! Okay, now, if we had not just got a recovery is indicated, this represents a three-party situation, the Three of Cups. It does. It absolutely does. So it represents there was somebody interfering. A third party caused problems in a situation, which I already know. Okay? That sucks. So it's going to come out. Get ready for big changes. It's coming out. Whatever it is. Now, it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be like another lover in between you and your partner. It could be a family member. It could be a job. It could be activities, something that takes you away from your partner. But there's three, and three's a crowd. Until you get things organized, then it becomes a celebration. Then it becomes fun. Then it becomes three friends that understand one another. Now, unfortunately, three, there's always one that feels like the third wheel, right? You're feeling left out. That does tend to happen. That's why it's always kind of better if you're in couples. That's why, you know, my ex-husband and my best friend, we don't do anything because it's just the three of us. It's kind of awkward. When I get together with someone else, then we can, because then it's not, one doesn't always feel left out. However, it could also represent just a celebration, a wedding, a graduation, birth announcements, or the fact that you need to have fun, says the squirrel. Heck yeah, you need to have fun. So the fact that we got a recovery is indicated, my first impression, even though I know that there's been third-party involvement, and that's why people have to take a look at what their, you know, the course of action that they've been taking, because they've been basing it on untrue information. There was a third-party involvement. I do want to put most of my emphasis towards something positive. Now, I do have to bring all of that up because it's just been very loud. So, we've been working too hard. It's time to have more fun. I agree, 100%. This is happy conclusions. This is things working out well. This is about having, you know, going out and playing, having fun. This is good. I like this. Well, we'll see with the rest of the cards what it actually means. Creative expression. Again, it's time to create yourself. Be who you are. Step out and be who you truthfully are. I'm looking at that redhead again. Embrace yourself. This is about transformation and stepping out and being who you are. Look at the colors of the rainbow. Hello. It's time to speak your truth. Look at the color blue. This is what you need to do. You need to creatively express who you are, as you are. It's beautiful. We are beautiful as we are. We shouldn't try and hide who we are. So, Spirit wants us to create I keep saying it, create ourselves. We can recreate ourselves all the time, right? But we're meant to express ourselves. So again, we have a creative expression that we need to work upon. We need to bring this out. This is really hammering me with my cards, right? I got to get these going. So whatever makes you happy, whatever makes your heart sing, whatever makes you feel joyful, do that. Whatever it is. It doesn't have to be your work, as I said. It can be painting. I'm painting something today. I already know what I'm painting. I already know. Oh, I forgot. I knew I was going to do it last night. So right now, Spirit's saying this has to happen. There's an outlet that needs to happen. And we got to figure out what it is for us. What is it going to be? What we kind of go along with the first messages, right? The ones we got before. I mean, they're so close together. I guess it's just hammering it home, right? So again, figure out, she's got her eyes closed, or she's looking down at that giant butterfly on her hand. So she's thinking. She's leaning up against that pillar. She's leaning on something. She's leaning on something. She's resting. She's resting her arm, her left arm, her heart arm. Her heart hand is being supported by that pillar at the beach. You're being supported by my Pisces. Wow. So you need to express yourself creatively. You need to not worry about whatever this project is that you are wanting to bring into existence. You need to enjoy your life. Express yourself as a child. Bring that childish energy out. Get in touch with your true feelings. Pay attention to the divine guidance coming from within you. Because at this time, you've got this within you and you're not expressing it. It needs to come out. You need to come out. I'm sorry. It's all I can get. You need to come out. You need to express yourself honestly, openly, truthfully. Stop leaning upon that pillar. I'm sorry. That's all I'm getting from this. It just keeps coming out really loud. This is the third party leaning on the pillar. You need to express yourself truthfully and honestly, creatively. This is interesting to me because that's who that is. Clearly you're very gifted. And you have an injury. So, this is a lot of messages coming in this. This is interesting because I told you guys yesterday, I kept hearing, coming at you like a dark horse. Are you ready? Make me your Aphrodite. Don't walk away. Wow. This one has an injury, pain, or a wound, or has caused an injury, pain, and a wound. They need to express themselves honestly. They are, an animal is telling you that they have an injury. I know Liger does, right? I know he does, and I'm taking care of him. So for your pets, you need to figure out what it is, what's going on with your animal. They're trying to let you know. Now, the horse also represents forward movement. It also represents somebody who's supporting someone else. You're riding on that horse's back and you've hurt him. They've been tied up at that fence because of you. Sick cousin. The blue again, speaking your truth. Being honest. Don't close your eyes to it. I'm sorry, you guys. I can't read this any other way. It's what it is. It's a third-party situation. Okay? All of the things apply. They do. But this is way too loud. This is a third-party situation. This is the little coming at you like a dark horse. This is to make me your Aphrodite. Don't walk away. This is the one who got involved, who is leaning on this one. A younger, probably family member. And I'm just going to leave it that way. I can't say anything else. Oh, here. Say it like it is. Okay, well, there it is. That's why I said it. So, say it like it is. Speak your truth. There you are. Third party. Riding on that dark horse. Wow. I'm just going to leave it. You guys figure it out for yourselves. That's all I have to say about that. So at an hour in, we go to me, Maria. Interesting. You know, my Yahoo email account got hacked, and I was never able to get back in. And you know why I was never able to get back in? Because somebody changed my password, which I'll never use again, but my password was Maria. And and they said, well, you must not remember it. And I said, believe me, I know the password. I know it. I've only had one cat named Maria, and it was hacked. So Queen of Air. This is the Queen of Swords. This is me last night, and this is me today, I guess. This is speaking your truth. This is absolutely speaking your truth. And looking up at a crystal ball and seeing things as they truthfully are. This is about making your decisions objectively, clearing away what no longer serves, trying to see the humor in a situation. You see this man standing in front here, and you see this younger one right here. Look at that. Meddling. I see it all now. And there's the unicorn. Wow. So, if you're a queen, you've reached the queen status, you should handle yourself like a queen, right? You don't want to be a wicked queen. We did get it upright. So this is in the upright condition. The queen is a quick thinker. She's organized, she's perceptive, and she's very independent. She's adorned with the truth. This is the truth. This is absolutely speaking to the truth. She can be very stern. Look at the look on her face. She's not impressed right now. So, she's called the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Air. Swords are about cutting people away that do not belong in your life. Clearing away situations that no longer serve. She has clarity of mind. She is able to look at things from a higher perspective because she connects to spirit. She absolutely comes across very stern and mature. She's leaving emotion out of this. This is logic. So this is about judging impartially as I watched all the different situations go on, right? We want to know how, why, what, where, when, who, in order to make sense of what's going on. We want the truth. We are not going to be biased. We are looking at all of this, everything in front of us. Right now, Spirit is asking us not to allow our empathy to get in the way. See, now what I watched, remember I wanted it to be simple, right? I wanted it to just be simple. And then Spirit said, no, there's more going on than meets the eye. You know that there was a hidden agenda. And yes, I do. So I can't allow my emotions to get in the way, and neither can you. Right now, this isn't about being emotional. This isn't about wanting it to be pie in the sky. This is about facts. This is why they said you might need to get an attorney involved. This is about cutting through the bullshit and seeing the truth of a situation. There's no beating around the fucking bush here. I'm not going to soften this any longer. I'm not going to allow anything to be hidden. And I expect the truth. I'm very upfront and honest, and I expect that as well. And so should you. This is all about truth and honesty and clarity of the situation. So the best way to deal with the Queen of Swords is to also come from a very logical place and get your thoughts organized and come forward honestly. Because you don't want the Queen of Swords to turn in reverse. Right now, she's being fair. She's standing there looking at everything in front of her, and she sees the truth. It's kind of like me with my kids. You know, I would go to my kids when I would find something out, and I would ask them to tell me the truth. And Kendra, the little one, she had red hair. She would lie. And she was the worst liar. I knew she was lying, so I would say to her, this is my stepdaughter, right, that I was raising. And I would say to her, I want the truth. Just tell me the truth. If you tell me the truth, you won't be punished. But she would lie and lie and lie and lie and lie. And she's a grown-up now, and now she's very strict with her child. And I said, why did you do that? And she said, I was afraid of getting in trouble. And I said, yeah, but you know that I was honest, and I would not have punished you if you told me the truth. And she goes, I don't know, I was stupid. What she was she was a manipulator. She was a liar and a manipulator. And she admitted it, and she has that issue. So if you want to work well with the Queen of Swords, she would not have been in any trouble. Because I am honest. I am. When I say something, I mean it. But if you lie to me, I'm going to call you out. And you have done this. So right now, the truth is exposed. Or maybe Spirit is trying to get you to see the truth in the situation. And right now, you need to remove emotion from this. You are seeing through the hidden agendas. So right now, this one is not welcome in my presence. I wanted it to be different, but this is not my friend John. John is honorable. This person is not. This person has not come forward. Now, at the same time, it depends on how they react, right? All we know is, as the Queen of Air, whoever you chose this could represent someone in your life, right? This represents me right now. Absolutely. It could represent somebody else in your life. This is a person, as far as I'm concerned, my twin and I are together, right? He's no fool. What I see, he should see as well. He's standing down here. So the Queen of Air can also be a man, right? With the same loving, gentle qualities. Very perceptive, very connected, very knowledgeable. And they already know. We already know. That's the thing that's so annoying, is we already know that you've stabbed us in the back. We already know that you have lied and manipulated and deceived and have had a hidden agenda all along. But Spirit's giving you the opportunity to speak. This person, this Queen of Air, is somebody with incredible insight, very perceptive, smart, intelligent, funny, serious, but we're not judgmental. They're unmarried people. That's a good thing to know. Thank you. I'm unmarried. Independent, experienced, very candid, meaning blunt, and realistic. When I look at this, I see, the first thing I want to see is us, the crane people, with the blue, the truthful, honest, the jack of all trades, masters of none, the ones who dance to our own beat, who aren't worried about keeping up with the Joneses, who see an opportunity when no one else can see it. Right? You're looking and all you see is dry, dusty stuff there. I see something else, and I know how to make the best of that opportunity. That's the crane people and the heron people. But the first thing I saw, and we always have to go with what we first see. When I saw stiff back, hard-headed, unbendable, unbreakable, unyielding, somebody unwilling to be truthful and honest. They've turned their back on the truth and honesty. This could be somebody who doesn't want to see the truth. And it's right in front of your face. So turn around and look. Don't think that you're going to get away from this. You've been avoiding telling the truth or looking at the truth of the matter because, I don't know, it hurts you. You got a stiff attitude and that needs to stop. Another message I get, and I'm going to go there. We'll just do this as far as your animals, okay? Now, I know Liger has sore joints. He's quite heavy and he's old and he's got sore joints. So I understand that. So your animal might be telling you that they are dealing with that. Maybe they're experiencing organ failure. I have to be really careful with Liger, right? I don't want that to happen. He's older. This also represents an erection. Somebody has literally dealing with, I want sex. I want sex. That's what it means, okay? So is this some person attracted to you? Oh, hell yeah, they are. And maybe it's just all about sex. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. We'll see. Wow. Wow. Okay, here's Spirit coming forward. Spirit is not going to let this crap go down. Ooh, this is eclipse energy happening like right now. When I look at that eagle, and when I look at the eagle, I heard the eagle when I saw Spirit, but I'm looking at a red hawk. And the red hawk's the messenger, and the red hawk is me, and I am the messenger, and we speak the truth. And it comes out of the darkness, and it's not going to be put back in. And you look at the number 8. 8 represents abundance, infinity. Infinity, it goes on to infinity. The truth is the truth is the truth is the truth. There's no getting away from it. That's what I'm looking at when I see here. I see nobility. This is the queen. This one is in the highest honor. This one comes from their truth. This one is connected to Spirit. Look at the green, the healing and the love around the outside. This is beautiful. This is noble. I love that. This is coming from your truth. This is acting in honor in an honorable way. Look at the color combination. You have to look at the color combination. It's the same. This is the same one. This, I see my twin standing here and I see me standing here. I see us both represented in this. This is coming from the truth. This is a noble, honorable person. This person speaks their truth. They're connected to their higher self. They don't judge others. They're fair. But they expect honesty and they expect loyalty and they expect truth. They don't put up with bullshit because they don't put that bullshit out. They're loving, they're empathic. They reached this status by walking their walk and talking their talk. And you know what? I am proudly tooting my own horn. I see myself this way. I am this way. And I'm proud of that. Don't ever mistake a quiet person as my twin. Don't ever mistake a gentle person as somebody who's stupid. Don't think that we don't know and we haven't known all along. We've been giving you the opportunity to speak up, but you haven't. You haven't. You have remained stiff, unbending, unyielding, unwilling to look at what's going on. Arrogance and pride. That is not in Spirit. That is ego. This is Spirit. These two are both looking in the same direction. They both know. This is a spiritual being. We're in a physical life. Yes, we are. But this is showing the physical and the spiritual together. This is the shapeshifter. This is talking about our connection with the divine, reaffirming that connection with divine. This is about, yes, we fly into heaven, we speak with Spirit, we connect with Spirit, but we also look into this natural world. We live in this natural world. Spirit's everywhere and in everything. And what's so amazing is so many people that are sleepwalkers that don't get this, they never thought that they would be caught. Because Spirit connects to us. They show us things. Remember, karma comes around. Spirit knows how to bring things to the light. Things that have been done in secret, manipulative things, lying, deceitful things. And they think that they're never going to get caught. They're going to get away with it. But you underestimate this. These are the sparrow people. You see us as a sparrow. We're the eagle. You underestimate to your demise. There is creation and there is destruction. There is the beautiful and there's the ugly, and it's all made from the same spiritual energy. We get to choose who we are and how we behave. No matter how bad things get, Spirit kept saying, stay to the light. Don't resort to doing what they did, to trickery, to Santa Murieta, the spellbinding, to the manipulating and the lying and the deceiving. Even though what was done was wrong and unfair and unjust, Spirit says, stay in the light. Always stay in the light. Walk on your path. Don't resort to their level. These two did not resort to this one's level. This is how we want to live our lives. This is where you're meant to be proud of yourself. I am proud of myself that I didn't, because I can make things happen. See, this is what people don't understand about spiritual people. We are very connected. I can make things happen. I've done it. I was caught by Spirit. What I was doing is I was manifesting to help someone. I did something good, but I made it happen. I made it happen again and again and again. And then Spirit said, stop. You're not to do that. You are messing in someone else's free will. They need to learn their own lessons. They need to fall on their face. They need to see it for themselves. I've watched it all in my crystal ball. I saw it in my dreams 4 years ago. I watched the whole thing. I gave it to my twin. But he had to see it for himself. Now we're both looking in the same direction. But I have the ability to make things happen. Just like the people in the darkness have the ability to make really shitty things happen. But we are not to stoop to that level. We stay above it. We allow Spirit to handle karma, and we bring it to the light when Spirit says it's time. And now's the freaking time. We were shown karma was being balanced. There is something that we need to reconsider right now. We need to reconsider our alliances, is what I'm getting. We need to reconsider our alliances. In my dream last night, I watched this person who resembled my friend John. He walked up to me and I said, oh, hey, how's it going? And I'm just getting something right now. The deadliest catch, Star, admits to sexually abusing a teen. I saw that in my dreams. I watched that. Okay, I gotta go back to this reconsider. In my dreams, what I watched. So, I've been doing a reading. I'm walking along, and this guy walks up to me and says, did you drop these? And hands me these cards. And I look at it, and I'm, oh my God, and it was my friend John, right? But it wasn't. Clearly, it's just showing me something else. I look at them, and I said, yeah, I was just doing a reading. But one of the cards was different. It wasn't my card. So I wondered if someone else had the cards and they had dropped them. There were things on the shelves that held phones, and I said, what are you doing? And he handed me one that he'd taken from the shelf, and he said, here, hold this one. He hands it to me, and I said, what are you doing? He says, I like this one. It's only $5.99. It's a good deal. So he's thinking of getting it. This other guy comes up and kind of leans over top of me, and he squishes me into his chest. I'm like, excuse me, I can't breathe, right? I move aside. So it's showing me my reading last night. It's showing me who was watching my reading. It's showing me that Remember the cards on the table? Well, you'll know this in the reading when you watch this later, the card reading that's just been released. And I've been talking about it for a few days. Spirit said to us, play the cards you've been dealt. Right? Play the cards you've been dealt. These are the cards that I've been dealt. And I'm playing them right now. One of the cards was not mine in the dream that I watched. One of the cards was not mine. I need to reconsider something. Play the cards that have been dealt. We don't play the cards that have been dropped. Right? You don't play the cards that were dropped or the ones you've already put down. You don't revisit those ones. Remember the old karmic soulmate from the past? There, I'm getting prickles now in my face. This is not coming back together. This is not coming back together. That has to go. That's a dangerous alliance. We don't play those cards. Remember I said we don't look at them again? We don't. If you have a karmic soulmate and you keep, that's the addiction. You don't look at that again. You don't look at that again. Wow. So I'm going to leave it at that, and you guys are going to have to figure out what that means to you about reconsidering that connection. You don't look at that one again. It's a dangerous alliance. All right, you guys, at 1 hour and 26 minutes in, we're done. The other reading's already up, and I'm going to put this one up.